Arizona, the land of the Grand Canyon and the dry heat that I've always heard everyone rave about. Being from New Jersey, I'd never experienced dry heat before, since I'd never been to the southwestern part of the country before. So that's the direction I headed in as soon as I hit the road and left New Jersey in the spring of 2022. By the time I got there, it was July. Not the best time to be camping in the desert, but I really didn't care. I had AC, so I was good. The geography of the Southwest is so different from the East Coast, and it was the first time that I ever saw mesas and buttes and ancient Native American cliff dwellings. My first sightseeing destination was Sedona, and while I was disappointed that I didn't feel any spiritual vortex, Gus and I did do a lot of hiking. Airport Mesa Trail is a little over 3 miles round trip. I was really surprised by how much Gus loved it. He even did a little bit of rock climbing. Not bad for an old dog. I got some vertigo once we got to the top, but Gus seemed unfazed. Of course, the Grand Canyon is a must-see while in Arizona, so I booked a reservation for a week at Trailer Village RV Park on the south rim of the Grand Canyon National Park. Gus stayed in the air-conditioned RV while I took shuttle buses around the park to take in the sights. I have to say that while the Grand Canyon is breathtaking, and I'm glad I got to see it, it gave me terrible vertigo. I saw other people getting really close to the edges of cliffs, hanging their feet off. Not all areas have guardrails. I stayed as far away from the edges of cliffs as possible and held onto the guardrails for dear life. My final destination was Grand Canyon Caverns in Peach Springs, Arizona, nowhere near the Grand Canyon. They had an inn with a small store, swimming pool. Down the road a little bit further, they had an RV park. This was one of my favorite RV parks I've been to. I'm not sure exactly why. It certainly wasn't luxurious or anything, but there were very few people there, and I had my choice of nearly 50 campsites with partial utility hookups. There wasn't any grass because it was a desert. They did have trees for shade and privacy. I moved around to a few different campsites while I was there just because I could. There was also a restaurant and a gift shop not too far from the RV park, and of course an underground cavern. I did take a tour of the cavern, but I have to say it was a bit underwhelming. It was a dry cavern without stalagmites or stalactites, so I found it a little bit boring, but considering that this place is in the middle of nowhere, there really wasn't much to do, so it was a nice diversion. The RV park also had a laundry room. It's the building to the left. And at least at the time I was there, the machines were not coin operated, so it was free to do laundry, and that was a plus. I love my time in the Arizona desert, but as always, the time comes to move on. Until next time, Arizona.